If you want to convert more from conversations in the DM, in Messenger, and in email, then I have 6 secrets for you here today. Hey, what's up? Jeremy here from whatupjeremy.com, back with another episode of Client by Client. Thank you so much for tuning in today. In the last episode, I helped you become the only coach they want to hire. Let's face it, not every single person that comes across you or that gets onto a sales call or makes it all the way to the end of a sales call will sign up with you. Although I would love for that to be the case. The second best option is that whenever that prospect is ready to buy and ready to become a client, is that you are the only person they want to buy from. I want you to be bulletproof when it comes to your sales conversations and to eventually getting the sale for when that prospect decides that now is the time. So be sure to backtrack one episode to understand everything there is to know and everything I have there is to share about becoming the only coach they ever want to hire, work with, and get results with and from. In today's episode, I want to share with you 6 secrets to make your conversations a bit more sticky and to help you convert more from them. As you already know, conversations are the key to converting. Conversations in person if you're networking, but in this digital day and age, more so, conversations in your Instagram DM, in your Facebook Messenger, in your LinkedIn mail, and in email, or any social platform that is your main and primary platform or that people are interacting with you. And when you understand how to turn social media users and your prospects using these apps, to be more specific, and viewers and commenters and likes and engagements and shares and comments and all of those things, when you learn how to turn those into one-on-one private conversations, if you already know this, or if you're just finding this out, when you know how to do this well, what you hold is the keys to controlling your revenue. You hold the keys to controlling how many clients are going to sign up on any given day, week, or month. And when you understand these 6 secrets, you are going to become elite at actually converting from the DM and to converting into booked calls and to converting into more clients. Secret number 1 is the balance of building rapport without wasting time. It gets really easy, like on a sales call, yes, and even more so in the DM, that you ask or potentially pose too many open-ended or, for lack of better words, meaningless kinds of questions, like how are you, how's the weather, what's new, these sorts of things that don't lead the conversation necessarily anywhere you want to go. However, if you only come in with sales-based conversations and sales-based back and forth with your prospects, it can also come off as kind of slimy. It can come off as maybe your VA is doing your DMs and not you, and this will work even if your VA is doing your DMs. But you have to build rapport. Some of the prospects you're going to get have just discovered you and they're excited. Other people that are reaching out to you via DM, or they are commenting on your posts and you're reaching out to them via DM to thank them or to take it to the next step in your funnel, some of these people may have already been in your world for 3, 6, 9 months, a year or two, or maybe even longer. And when that's the case, you also want to take that into account, that they may have some rapport with you already. You might already be, although you feel like an everyday person, you might already be larger than life to them. You might already be the coach that they're looking up to, even though they haven't ever reached out, even though they're on your email list and never responded to an email or booked a call. And so you want to get as much data as you can in that rapport stage, but also continue advancing it to the next level. So what you don't want to do is ask a lot of questions that are along the lines of how's the weather and how's it going. And what you want to do is instead cater to what it is you help them with. You might ask, how long have we been connected here? How long have you been following me? Are you interested in, or are you on this blank journey? How long have you been on your weight loss journey? How long have you been on your bodybuilding journey? How long have you been in your dad journey? How long have you been in your business journey? Questions that lean to what it is that you help with are what I would like for you to introduce, but are a bit more open-ended just to get the conversation going. Because in the beginning stage, when you've just gotten the DM from a prospect or you've just gotten the response to your DM from your prospects, what you want to do is just get them going back and forth and be comfortable going back and forth with you. And then that can lead to everything else being easier and even give you the chance of inviting them onto a sales call with you or a strategy session or some sort of interesting engagement with you. Thing number 1, build rapport, but do it without wasting time. Second, you have to know the path you want to lead your prospects down to become a client. Too many of you guys want to switch things up or aren't set yet in concrete with how it is that you acquire your clients. And just like I always recommend having one social media platform that you focus in on, I also recommend having one pathway for you to get strangers from the internet to become paying clients. The most straightforward and most simple method that you can do that I recommend for everyone listening to this that's below $30,000 a month in recurring revenue is through an application funnel, booking them onto your calendar and doing a sales call. So it's booking calls and getting clients on the phone and closing them while they get on the Zoom call with you or while you're on the phone call with them. And a lot of you will alternate with how you sell your program or what you're selling because of what others in your space that are typically pretty far ahead of you are doing. So your favorite coach launches a webinar and you think that's the way now. So you switch everything to get into the webinar. Or you hear that I sell via DMs and don't really do sales calls. And so you think that you got to switch to doing that thing. But if you're not at 30K a month yet, that's just not the right step. And you switching in between is messing up your ability to get results. I will also say there's no right or wrong way, but the way that you focus on the longest is going to be the way that works. It's also in choosing which that method is that's going to determine your success. And it's far easier and far more likely that you're going to get a 3, 5, 10, 20K client at the end of a sales call than it is in the DM or through webinar or through sending them to a page to check out. But whatever path it is that you've chosen or that you already have or that you're choosing, you have to know that path and you have to stick with it. So what you need to be thinking about is, am I closing them on a phone call or closing them on the DM? And if it's binary, and I'm not here to give you the answer, if you're at 15 to 30K a month, maybe you can start trying with the DM. If you are not there yet or haven't been there for 3 months in a row, application to making a call, the easiest way is doing this in Calendly, using their free account and inviting people onto a call with you. Now, we're not going to get into here whether a 1 call or a 2 call close is best for you, but book them through an application funnel. Get them to apply and answer some questions through your Calendly, and then do the call with them and invite them and unpack your offer and invite them to become a paying client with you. Whatever the case is, you have to know the path. This is also important because it gets easy to get lost in the sauce in the DMs. And if you are blessed with a situation where you're flooded with a lot of incoming and inbound DMs, you might also lose opportunity because you lose sight of my job here is to book the call. And if I'm not there over your shoulder to tell you what to do, but I say your only job from the DM is to book the call, now you're going to be far more likely to not make the mistakes of thing number one, of wasting time while you're building rapport, and instead asking specific and a bit more direct questions, which is going to lean towards you getting the client while they're there with you and while they're being responsive, because when you have them there, you have them there, and there's no guarantee they're ever going to come back. So build a rapport without wasting time and know the path. Know that you need to book them and get them booked onto your calendar. So what needs to happen? Well, you need to ask them questions to understand if they're qualified for it, and maybe no more than 3 to 5 questions. Ask them if they're open to some help. Ask them if they're opening to hop on a call with you. Ask them if it's okay for you to send over the link, and then send the link. Third, pre-craft your messages. A lot of you guys, when you just get started with this, until you get a little seasoned, you feel like you are doing wrong by your prospect by having your messages pre-scripted. And it's the same on a sales call. I know we keep going back to this. They're directly related, and it's kind of one step before the other. But on a sales call, you really shouldn't be asking new questions and veering off of your sales script once you have your script dialed in. Once your coach has given you your script, or however it is you found your script, you should really be sticking to it. Maybe there are things that you test out, and maybe there is a time and place for you know what, this isn't on my script, but I really feel implored to ask this question, and you ask it. But your script is the script, and it's the same in your DM. And so many of you guys will feel like you are like duping or you are doing something shady by having your messages pre-crafted. But success leaves clues. And when you learn from other coaches who have already mastered this, like myself and like many others in the industry, what winds up happening is that you find that your questions are not as effective as the ones that they're using to get 3 or 4 clients every single day. And maybe that's why you're not at that level yet and at those milestones as far as revenue. So pre-craft your messages and understand what works and test what works. If you're navigating this alone, you're going to have to discover what works and find what works. There are trainings in the Leverage Coach community that I have for you. You're always welcome to send me a message and we could talk about what works. And at the end of the day, if a coach gives you the messages or has a framework like I do for helping you craft your own unique messages. Once you have those, you have those. Don't reinvent the wheel with every DM, because what's going to wind up happening is that, let's say you're blessed with 5 people to come inbound to your Instagram DM or your Facebook Messenger today, or you got 5 responses to the email that you sent out of folks who responded with some interest in your help, and they respond to your call to action. If you're having to sit there and think about what the right next thing to say is without messing it up on every one of those messages, you're going to get decision fatigue. You're going to get analysis by paralysis. You're far more likely to try to handle each situation with white gloves on and like you're, trying not to crack the egg. And then what winds up happening is that you drop the ball, you drop the egg, it gets cracked. And so you wind up messing up because you're not trying to mess up. There's a test with pilots where if they tell, like, pilots know not to tell other pilots, or like mission control knows not to tell pilots to not hit something. They tell them what to actually do instead. Because if they tell them not to hit something, they're going to end up aiming at that because they're focused on not hitting it, which is still focused on hitting it. Interesting concept. So pre-craft your messages and don't reinvent the wheel when you're going. This is going to inject too much time. You might have the time to sit there and come up with a custom thing to send to one prospect if you're getting 1 a week right now. But if you had an influx of 5 right now and you're trying to say something custom and unique to each of them, the likelihood that any of them are going to work are just not, in comparison to knowing what's going to work, pre-scripting it, having it saved in your phone. Bonus tip, so you can easily access it and send it with each message, instead of coming up with something new every freaking time. 4th, you got to get more inbound chats coming in. Some of this might not be landing for a few of you because you just don't have enough lead flow coming in yet, or enough leads at all coming in yet for you to test or to know or understand anything that I'm telling you right now. And so you have to be using social media effectively and your time on social media effectively to get leads rolling in. That means create your content and post your content, but understand what the means of that content is. It's to nurture your prospects and to call them to action. And so you need to look at your captions. Look at what you're saying in your 1-minute story every single day. And are you calling and are you compelling people to take the next step? Your goal of your content and your story and your lives shouldn't be to get someone to book the call, because that's a big ask in all reality. The next step is have them reach out to you. Send me a DM, comment this word. And when they do that, it's kind of like raising their hand and they're identifying themselves. And if they wind up in your DM, they're showing some interest. And if they leave a comment on your post, they're showing some interest. So don't try to jump stages, and just get them to take the next baby step. And all of your content needs to be engineered for this. If you look on my story and if you're following what I do on Instagram and on Facebook, because they're just shared automatically when I do it from one or the other, you'll often find that I'm promoting my podcast. I'm sharing micro content and the clips, the things that stand out most, that I think stand out most from the episodes of my show, in hopes of that landing with other prospects that may not be listening to the show, or that don't know that I have a show or something like that. And so I use this show to show up every single day. I use the mini content to show up additionally every single day. And then in my captions and in those things, there's calls to actions. The call to action might be to go listen to the show. And then in the show, there's some calls to actions at the end. And if they don't make it through to the end, there's a call to action in the caption of the little clip they may have found it from. And if you watch my story, there are slides I put up, individual stories that I post that are specific call to action, move people in from lurking and watching into self-identifying or to asking for some help. And if you don't have those tools just yet, this might be one of the reasons why you don't have enough leads and why none of this is making sense. You got to get more people commenting and DMing you every single day if you want more control over your online business, and if you want more control over your calendar, and if you want more control over your money. Get more leads coming in. If you have an opportunity for some leads and you want to get more coming in, I have a couple resources for you. You can always just find me over on Instagram and send me the word leads. We'll have a little chat just about like where you're up to, and then I'll send you over some of my free resources and things that some of my Leverage Coach community members have gotten the most results from, and we can start to get some leads rolling in and start to like patch up that problem so they can work on the next piece, which is going to be converting them. 5th, you have to hold their hand. Once you have the DMs coming in and you're asking them questions and they're responding, and you identify their 1 to 3 major pain points, and you ask them if they're open to some help, and you ask them if they're open to hopping on a call, you're doing all of the things right. But if you miss out on this next piece that I'm about to share with you, then they may not book the call, and you may have done a bunch of work and not end up with a client. And so what needs to happen is when you actually invite your prospects in the DM or through word of mouth, if they're in person for whatever reason, if you invite them to book a call with you, don't just assume they're going to go and take those steps. Send them the link to book the call. Ask them for permission. Can I send you the link here in the DM? And give them the link to your Calendly. And then give them the next steps. Don't just walk off. Don't be too proud to do any of this at any stage of your business, guys. Tell them what to do. There's the link. Go there now and book a time. Tomorrow's open from this or that. Let me know here that you've got a time so I know that you're all taken care of. Sound good? And then if they don't respond, maybe by the end of the day or the next morning, say, you okay? Is everything okay? First name, question mark? Were you able to find a time okay? And then make sure your calendar doesn't allow people to book out longer than 72 hours. That's how you get warm prospects to turn into hot prospects on the phone that turn into paying clients. Don't let them book out too far. No more than 72 hours. That tip right there is worth $10,000. And I know it because I paid it. And I've made money from it. So you have to hold their hand and not assume. And if you're selling by the DM and you're giving them a link to go and check out, do everything that I just talked about, and then also hold their hand. Go there now and get registered. Let me know, and even better, you could say something like, let me know here that everything worked out okay and that you're all good, especially if you like surprise bonuses. And now they need to go and do the thing and buy the thing and put their credit card information in and register for the workshop or register for your program or buy and check out. And then they want to come back and hear about the bonuses. And you can wow them even further. So tip number 5 is all about don't assume that people are going to take the action and they know what to do next. Hold their hand, walk them home, tuck them in, kiss them on the forehead, lock the door, head back your own merry way. If you want the money, if you want the client, if you want the case study, if you want to change someone's life, this is the way. Lastly, thing number 6, if you gotten value, a reminder, a tip that you didn't know, or maybe that you forgot to the point in this episode, take a screenshot, post it to your story, tag me on social media at WhatUpJeremy. Or if you're getting the show on Facebook Live, Facebook Watch, or on YouTube, drop a comment with what your biggest insight is and subscribe while you're there, damn it. And I read and respond to every single one of them. And it also helps other coaches and business owners see what stood out, and it will consolidate it and just affirm it for you as well. Lastly, thing number 6, it needs not be said, but it needs to be said, is follow up, because not everyone's going to take action. Things happen. People are busy when they're DMing you in the middle of their day, in the middle of their life and their problems and crises. And even better than follow up, which is the bare minimum, guys, build in your follow up. One of the ways that you can do this that I'm a fan of that I got from Coach Carrie Wilkerson is to have a day of the week that you're going to follow up and let them know. And this also will help you show them that you're a person of your word. So what Carrie does is follow up Friday. And so she says, I do all my follow-ups Friday, so I'll circle back if I haven't heard back. Go and do the thing. Go book the call. Go sign up. Go register. And if I don't hear anything back, then I'll circle back on Friday when I do all of my follow-ups. And so they're kind of anticipating it. Or they're like, wow, this person didn't have to come and they're not going to hound me. They kind of don't need me. Wow. And there's typically a subconscious attraction to that kind of energy versus the person that has to follow up like a hound. Or you can also tell them things like, go book the call and then let me know here so I know you're all taken care of. And then if they don't do that, now you're checking in with them to see if they're okay. Now you're not saying, hey, did you sign up? Hey, did you book your call? You're saying, yo, is everything all good? Hey, I'm worried about you. Let me know here that you're alive. And they might have got a little fear to book the call or to buy the thing. And they're like, hey, yeah, sorry, just kind of a little scared and on the edge of the fence. And now you can talk them off a cliff. Now you can already start to be their coach and take that role and walk them through that in the DM. Send them a voice note. Better yet, voice notes are also the way to go for any and for all of this too. So build in your follow-up. Let them know. Go there and do that. I'm in the middle of walking the dog. I'm having my morning coffee right now. I'll come back and check on you in about 45 minutes time. I'll check in with you on Friday when I do all my follow-ups if I haven't heard back. Or give them reasons why. Hey, my calendar's already getting booked and there's only a few times left for tomorrow and the next day. Go and snag it now while it's top of mind. Cool? Build in your follow-up. Be direct. Don't leave room for interpretation. These people and your prospects have big burning problems that are costing them a lot. And until you get to the bottom of it together, until you have context for what that's costing them, they're not going to have context for why it is you charge what you charge and why it is that they should sign up now versus waiting. And when you get these 6 steps right, what you'll wind up finding is that you'll convert into more clients. And you'll also have some fuel going for why you should set up to get more leads rolling in every single day so that you get more clients signing up every single week. In the next episode, I want to help you optimize these 3 important things to help you get more clients. Whenever you are ready, here are a couple ways I can help you grow your online business. First, download your free copy of GetBookedCRM. Coaches, are you still managing your leads and pipeline from Instagram DM, Facebook Messenger, and your email inbox where you're losing leads in the cracks and leaving a lot of money and clients on the table every single week and month? That's why I created GetBookedCRM. What started out as a free and simple way for me to manage my pipeline and turn my prospects into clients has quickly become a favorite tool of my private students and many members in the Leverage Coach community. Get leads and turn them into clients in half the time. Download your free copy now by finding me on Instagram and messaging me the letters CRM. Second, join my free group for online coaches. I've got hundreds of coaches from all over the world, all implementing my methods and strategies for starting and growing an online business and getting clients consistently. Join them and me in the Leverage Coach community by finding me over on Instagram for your free invite and sending me the word group. Lastly, become my next success story. I'm getting a couple coaches together this month to implement my methods and frameworks for injecting a minimum of $15K worth of new clients or doubling your existing client roster base over the next 30, 60, 90 days. But working with the right people is super important to me. So this is only for you if you are a relationship-focused business owner who always puts the person ahead of the money. You've been working with clients for at least 6 months to a year. You'd like to get 3 to 5 clients every week or month from social media organically without wasting money and time on paid ads. You have at least 300 friends on a social platform, email list, or Facebook group. You are willing to take bold, inspired action because you know that your success depends upon it. And last but most importantly, you can keep a secret. That's why I want you to grab your phone right now and give that Instagram app a tap. Do a search and find me at WhatUpJeremy. Give me a follow and binge on some reels while you're there. And when you're ready, I want for you to message me the words case study. When you do that, I'll ask you a couple questions about your online business and about your vision for the next 12 months. And then I'll share with you what we have coming up in the program this month and how we're already helping students from all over the world to get clients consistently and grow their recurring revenue. We'll also identify what part of the program will likely make the biggest impact on your business soonest. That way you know what to expect. For all the details now, just find me over on Instagram at WhatUpJeremy and send me the words case study. That's it for this episode of Client by Client. Thank you so much for tuning in. See you in the next one. Cheers. YouTube, Facebook Live, tap one of the other videos that's queued up here on the screen. Be sure to subscribe, hit that like button, that bell for the notifications. Thanks so much for tuning in. You can always get this show on the go by going to Apple Podcasts or Spotify and just searching Jeremy Montoya or Client by Client. If you got value from the show, share this with a friend, share this with your accountability buddy, and here's to getting more clients. Peace.